Hey guys, welcome to the
Hello.
daily business news show. With me is Siddharth. Hey Siddharth, thanks for joining.
Hi, Nikhil. Thanks for having me.
So let's just straight get into the stories. Our first story of the night is repo rate remains unchanged after the RBI meet. So Siddharth, can you enlighten us a little bit more about this?
Yeah, so basically, we need to understand what MPC is. So there is a monetary policy committee, and this committee has been
Mhm.
formed very recently. They meet 4 times a year, and their job, more or less, is to control the inflation. Right now, the
Oh,
MPC mandate is to keep the inflation between 2% to 6%. So what the
okay,
MPC essentially does is it meets 4 times a year and it decides on interest rates, on repo rates. So right now they have
okay.
decided to not change
Well,
the
wait, wait,
repo
wait.
rate.
So just to understand what is a repo rate?
Right. So repo rate is the interest rate at which RBI lends money to commercial banks. So for
Okay.
example, we pay around how much interest on a home loan? Let's say we pay 11 to 12% interest on a home loan. So that
Hmm.
interest includes the 4% interest that the commercial banks pay to the RBI and
Okay.
2 to 3% of costs and their margins, and
Okay.
the rest of the gap is basically filled by their cost and margins. So
Okay. Okay.
all commercial banks essentially borrow from the RBI to
Okay.
give loans ahead, and the rate at
Okay.
which RBI lends money to the commercial banks is called the repo rate.
Okay.
It has
Okay.
been unchanged at 4% this time, and it's a
Oh,
good sign.
okay. Oh, that's a good
Also,
sign. I thought that would be a
yes,
bad sign.
no, no, it is a good
How is that a
sign.
good sign? Just to understand, how is that a good sign? Like
So,
they should have reduced it ideally, right?
ideally, they should have reduced it, but right now, like we discussed yesterday, also that we've been
Mhm.
borrowing a lot more than we actually want and we actually need. So, if they would have reduced
Okay.
it to say 3.75 or 3.5, then the borrowing would have shot up immensely. And that is not a favorable scenario for India. We are not net borrowers, we are net
Okay.
savers. So in that case,
Okay.
our economy would have taken a hit, to be honest, in the long run. So being
Okay. Okay.
unchanged
Okay.
makes more sense than actually reducing the repo rate.
ओके सो सिंपलेस्ट एकदम सिंपल टर्म्स में अगर बोलना है तो रेपो रेट इज बेसिकली कितने पैसे में बैंक को लोन मिलता है आरबीआई से
Exactly.
एंड
And
अल्टीमेटली
reverse repo rate is the rate at which commercial banks lend money to the RBI, which is
ओ
3.35%.
ओके ओके
Yeah.
ओके इंटरेस्टिंग
So the idea over here is to maintain borrowings and the money flow in the market. तो अगर
ओके
रेपो रेट बढ़
इंटरेस्टिंग
जाएगा तो मनी फ्लो कम हो जाएगा, और रेपो रेट अगर कम होगा तो मनी का फ्लो बढ़ जाएगा मार्केट में. So it's
ओके
this is how
ओके
the MPC controls the economy and the inflation and the money flow in the market.
so guys, those of you who are watching us, comment below, let us know what you think about this. Good sign, bad sign. Let's move to our next story, guys, which is another, I guess, another sort of conclusion from this particular MPC meeting. RBI allows one-time restructuring of loans.
Right.
So this seems very interesting. So what does this mean, Siddharth, exactly?
So basically, Nikhil, in February, the RBI decided to extend the benefit of one-time restructuring without any asset
Okay.
classification to downgrade an asset or upgrade an asset. So if there is a
Okay.
standard accounts of a GST registered micro, small, or medium enterprise that was in
Mhm.
default as on January 1st,
Hmm.
2020, then they are
Okay.
getting a last chance to restructure their debt and not be classified as an NPA. बेसिकली
Oh,
एनपीए
that's
का जो
good.
रेशियो है वो कम करने के लिए है ये.
एंड आज आज आया इसका अनाउंसमेंट लाइक विद द एमपीसी
हाँ,
जो
आज ही आया. द
मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी
डेडलाइन इज
कमेटी का.
एक्चुअली डेडलाइन आने वाला है. तो दैट्स व्हाई द
ओके
एमपीसी अनाउंस्ड इन द प्रेस मीट टुडे दैट दे आर गिविंग अ वन फाइनल टाइम slot for banks and
ओके
registered firms जिनकी क्लासिफिकेशन हुई है कि आप एक स्टैंडर्ड फर्म हो, स्टैंडर्ड अकाउंट्स आपके स्टैंडर्ड मेंटेन्ड है, तो आप रीस्ट्रक्चरिंग करा सकते हो अपने लोन की। अगर आप
Okay.
जाने वाले हो
There's a
एनपीए
good
ब्रैकेट
sign, I
में, तो
guess.
आप बैंक को अप्रोच कर सकते हो टू नॉट बी एन एनपीए। या वेरी गुड साइन।
Very good sign, because especially because I mean, think about it, right? Like one of the biggest problem which India faces right now is the NPA crisis. So
एग्जैक्टली, यस।
hopefully this makes things a lot better.
इट विल, इट
My
विल।
Our next story is our next story is something pretty cool, uh, which was expected, I guess. Indian apps see a surge of new entrants out to replace banned Chinese peers. I mean, one of the apps which I also checked out was I think MX Players MX Takatak, which is a play on TikTok.
राइट।
But this is really good because look, guys, if I don't know about manufacturing, I don't know about making machines, I don't know about designing. One thing which India knows well is software. India
इट डज,
absolutely
इट डज।
destroys software. We do software really, really well. So I was very surprised that a lot of these Chinese apps actually outranked us. But now it's good to know with the ban, right? At least to a certain extent, कि इंडिया में थोड़े और सॉफ्टवेयर पॉपुलर होने लग जाएंगे. क्या लगता है सिद्धार्थ?
No, no, very true. It is a good boost for the ecosystem. बट वन थिंग
करेक्ट.
टू कीप इन माइंड इज दैट अगर सिर्फ ये बैन के बाद कोई ऐप बना के उसको लॉन्च कर रहा है और बैन के कारण वो ऐप चल रहा है, तो वो लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए फीजिबल नहीं है। अगर आपको चाइनीज एप्स को पीछे
करेक्ट,
छोड़ना है,
करेक्ट.
तो आपको यू विल हैव टू स्टॉप यूजिंग ओपन सोर्स कोड्स दैट आर अवेलेबल टू एम्यूलेट दीज एप्स। यू विल हैव टू इनोवेट essentially.
Absolutely. Exactly.
Yeah. And
Exactly.
right
It's still a
right
good
before,
sign.
exactly, yeah,
Yep, yep.
just before the
Right
ban,
before.
our app ecosystem wasn't really creating chart topping apps. I mean, it's just right after the ban. So to like to
True, true.
be realistic, I think we need much more work and much more innovation when it comes to apps. And there is talent, there is, the raw material is
Immense
available. We
talent. I
just
mean, I
exactly,
guess the only reason why there have been like not been that many homegrown app is some of the best talent have been absorbed by companies like Google and Adobe and all that. Or else I'm
very
pretty
true.
sure
Yes.
Indians would have had a lot more apps. So this really makes you question that what China did to build up their e-commerce and their app economy was that the right approach? Because I truly believe that India has talent to make like 5 TikToks, but because of the kind of culture we are in, we end up preferring a safer job with Google and Adobe instead of going out on our own.
Exactly,
What do you think,
exactly.
Siddharth?
No, I totally agree, Nikhil, because if there is not an ecosystem that nurtures this talent, that encourages failure. Firstly, there is so much stigma around failure in our country that any young guy who comes out of college doesn't really, be isn't really open to try out new things. He's asked to take a stable job, and you cannot blame these youngsters also, because they come from hardship. They come from a background where they are looking to, they are
Absolutely.
the only hope for their family, and they need to get their
Correct.
family out of the distress they've been in. So I understand all that, but there needs to be an ecosystem where this talent is nurtured and encouraged to fail,
Correct.
encouraged to try, and encouraged to innovate new apps. I think if we are given them time and some resources, not even immense resources, even minimal resources, these guys would kill it in the international scene.
Absolutely. I mean, one of my favorite examples, my favorite company is Zoho, and they
Yes.
are one of the few companies which have actually executed on this. Also, this reminds me, right, of one particular quote which it was part of an interview which I recently saw between Tanmay Bhatt and Ankur Warikoo. Ankur
Mhm.
Warikoo is, for those of you who don't know, is CEO of Nearby India, which is basically an like group. They're an arm of Groupon India, basically.
He's also
So
Indian
Ankur,
Gary Vaynerchuk.
pretty much, yeah. So he makes a
Yeah.
lot of content and all that. So his quote was, in India there's no concept of uh, fail fast. You fail
Exactly.
once and it's over. Like there's
It
no
is
other
all over.
chance. So
Yes.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Let's see. Mine. Our next story is something which I sort of expected, which is Tata Nexon on rent. Guys, they completely botched the pricing of this particular EV. Let me just share my screen. I will show it to you. So, for those of you who don't know, Tata Nexon is their EV play. Uh, the pricing, although industry wide it was very good, but overall, right? I, I don't know. Like I just felt it was too expensive for the Indian market. Maybe somewhere else it would have worked. So, what do you think, Siddharth?
Yes, and even the subscription models are a tad bit expensive. I mean, for a period of 18 months, the customer will have to pay 47,900 monthly. For 24 months, 44,900, and for 36 months, 41,900. So I don't see anybody else apart from corporates hiring these EVs. Individuals
Yep,
don't
yep,
don't
yep.
really have that kind of cash.
In India, yeah. So it'll be again, restricted to the same premium sort of segment. And I mean, if you
Yeah.
are earning that much money, why would you even want to?
Yeah, if I had 50,000 to
Basically,
spend a month on transport, I would just book a
uh-huh.
Uber every single day. Why would I
So
hire a
Nirmal,
car?
we have a comment. We have a comment from one of our viewers. Nirmal says it may seem good, but for example, to be able to replace. So this is for our previous story. Many of these apps have not taken licenses for music that's being used in the app. You know what? This is the sort of jugaad which I absolutely hate in India. कि कुछ भी कर लो फटाफट ला लो मतलब क्या है ये
Exactly. I mean, one more,
लाइसेंस तो ढंग से लो यार हाँ
good point made by Nirmal, because a lot of these apps have not been checked for security concerns either. They've just
yes
copied
yes yes
open source codes, and
yep
the whole idea behind banning the Chinese apps was data security, right? It is much easier to
exactly
hack
exactly
these apps than the Chinese apps.
absolutely absolutely our next story is something which every console company is taking a benefit of. Console companies are basically Sony, Xbox and Nintendo
Mhm.
just reported a 428% surge in profits thanks to the lockdown gaming boom. I mean, the Nintendo Switch is an amazing device, and absolutely, absolutely crazy. Such a huge jump in profits.
I think this is the
And
future
Nintendo as a
anyway.
company.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Nintendo.
Like gaming
Yeah,
is going to end up becoming the future. Because,
yeah,
so think
and
about it like this, right? A Nintendo Switch as a portable device, it's
mhm.
not necessarily the best portable gaming device you can get. In fact, the smartphone in your pocket may actually end up being more powerful than this. And
Right.
Nintendo Switch was a huge success because of the certain specific things they got right. So with a
Mhm.
428% increase in profit, I mean, this basically shows you that people are willing to spend money even during the lockdowns. But you just have to get that right product. What do you think, Siddharth?
Yeah, I can we can see that in Nintendo's results, and not just Nintendo. I mean, even Nvidia, for that matter. Nvidia has gone way past ahead of any of its competitors when it comes to chips, and
Yep,
that's
yep,
because
yep. So with
their focus was on gaming chips.
yeah, and what happens is that's what many people end up. If they're staying at home, they wanna get a good gaming machine, and when you go for gaming machine, there's only Nvidia to buy from.
Yeah.
So this is not just for Nintendo, guys. Sony has seen a huge sales in games and PS4s. PS4, which is at the end of the cycle, basically a PS5 has been announced. It's gonna get released in a few months, and even then, so many people have gone ahead and bought PS4s. It's
There is a
absolutely
waiting period
ridiculous.
on PS4s. This is ridiculous.
So for those of you who feel that koi kharita nahi hai lockdown mein and all that, I disagree. I think you just have to find that right product. Even during lockdown, the consumer spending still, to a certain extent, has been maintained, especially in certain foreign markets. I mean, I honestly feel that you know this is a good sign, if you ask me, that entrepreneurs like myself, like you, like anyone else was right. We should not
Yes.
get too disheartened by the COVID situation.
We should
Our
always remember
so
that this is a temporary situation. I mean, it's going to take
exactly,
a year at the maximum to for a vaccine to be out. And once it's out,
exactly, exactly.
we'll see a good recovery in the economy.
Yep, yep, yep. Of like every day, guys. That's all for our stories. Today's tool of the day is Canva.com.
Oh,
Guys,
this
I
is a
can't
game
believe
changer.
how few people know. I can't believe how few people know about Canva.com. This is probably one of the best graphic design softwares for small businesses like you and me. Basically, if you can't afford a graphic designer, just go on to canva.com and start designing whatever you need. It can be logos, menus, posters. You won't believe how easy this piece of software is, and it's free. And you don't need, like, no one needs the paid plan. You can just start with the free plan, and later on, if you want, you can take it. And the designs and the templates which they give are so incredible that you'll save so
They
much
have
money, at least
templates.
initially.
They have ready-made
They have
templates
templates for
for
everything, guys,
everything.
like
Yes.
Facebook ads, calendars, invoices, emails. I mean, whatever you ask, they have a template. So I urge you to check out canva.com as well. But that's all for today. Let me just show you a very quick tour of canva.com. So this is how it looks. So many different templates like business cards, calendars, letterheads. And typically, sometimes you may just not have enough budget to hire a good graphic designer. So to get professional designs out, I urge you to use canva.com. Yes, even now, right, a lot of companies, for example, are creating PowerPoint presentations and all that. Trust me, the kind of templates which are there in canva.com, you just can't find anywhere else. Like, let me just show you. So, and it's extremely easy to make. So just look at this one slide, right? That one slide, to design, a normal person would have taken hours and hours together. It's just ready as a template, you can just edit it.
Just put
So
in the
that's all for
text you
today.
need and you're done.
Exactly. So that's all for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed our show. See you guys tomorrow.
See you.